The response time, I remember the first conversation that we had when we were looking at Verdant, I asked that question, what is the response time to that ticket if it's typically put in? Can you meet that within 24 hours, 48 hours? And they're like, probably 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's good. We were with a previous provider until their growth actually brought challenges to us. Certainly there is a very high risk right now of cyber attacks, information being stolen from us or held hostage. And certainly the equipment that we had wasn't necessarily protecting us from it as much as it should have.
We see this a lot with MSPs. They get into the reactionary service model, high volume. They're worried more about profits. So they have the cheapest tools, not best-in-class tools. And it's a pure revenue game for them. So performance levels go way down. And so when we come into a typical environment like Pioneer, with what Joe was dealing with, very slow response times, up to 2 to 3 weeks. Joe was told that everything was standardized, and nothing was standardized. Applications weren't standardized. They had operating systems that were 15 years old, were end of life, not even supported by Microsoft, that we had to get rid of and upgrade. On-premise infrastructure that she was told that was cloud first, that we had to remediate and actually move to the cloud. Nothing was done in a proactive manner to clean things up.
Being able to hear them explain to us and recognize that right away was really important. It was the listening, I think, that was important to us to know, here's our vision, here's what we need out of our technology, and then having the information, the professionalism, and the knowledge on Verdant's side to say, well, understanding what your needs are, this is what we would recommend for you.
We do things that other MSPs don't do. We integrate the whole entire network stack. Access points, switches, and firewall logs in real time to a syslog server that in turn goes into a real-time SIEM database with all the other layers that we provide, and then it runs AI on top of that with automation scripts that finds the needle in the haystack in correlation and prevents things from happening before the customer even knows.
Working with all the employees at Verdant has been so wonderful because they know their business and they understand it. And during an interaction with Jason, I remember him explaining a process to me, and I just said, Jason, I'm sorry, but I don't understand the process that you're explaining. Maybe you could break it down a little bit. And so he really did. And I said, I think we're really going to need to kind of have a session where we invite employees in and you could explain it to them. And he was open to doing that for us, which I think is wonderful because we could send an instructional booklet to someone, but that's not as key and as important as having someone there to say, this is how you can do this, showing someone how to do it, showing them how to walk through that path. I appreciate that from anyone that partners with us because you better understand how you are impacting that service too.
Pioneer Resources, what they do for the community is incredible. It's humbling to be part of that and be treated as a partner to allow them and be part of their success and giving back to the community and to the elderly and to the underprivileged.
Pioneer Resources has been in the Muskegon community for 80 years this year. Our mission is inclusive of serving individuals with disabilities as well as seniors. We focus on 4 areas. So it's a place to live, a place to learn, a place to grow and play, and a way to get there. Our organization tries to make sure that other organizations really understand what we do. And sometimes that's hard because we provide a lot of services. So we offered a bus tour because we have buses and because we wanted people to see our different sites and see the services in action. And so he took the opportunity to take an afternoon and do that with us.
I jumped on it because it was a chance for me to, one, meet their team members, see more of their locations I didn't see before to see how they operate. It's more of the empathetic approach as well, listening to help them out to make sure things just work more flawless, more of that white glove approach.
It's really impactful. I'm like, thank you for doing that. That differentiates him from other providers, which I think is really important.
I'm very grateful that they chose us. And so to be treated as another team member by Joe is incredible. I mean, the ultimate respect that she gives. She's a great leader.
I feel very confident that Verdant is supportive of our mission. You know, someone has to understand what that mission is and know the priority of those services. And Verdant has represented that within what they do, their time commitments. We are operating our residential group homes 24 hours a day. Having that one-on-one service and having that company that understands the priority of the services that we provide is really critical for us.